NASSCOM, Anindada and everyone for giving us such a platform. Now, hi, I am Rabimba, and maybe now I should say now that I am a developer or I am a tester. But before that, let me ask you a simple question among all the audiences. How many of you just came out of college or still in college? Can you please raise your hands? Okay, so I am also almost like one of them, because it's just 6 months. Yeah, it's just exactly 6 months since I joined Cognizant. Okay, now I'm just going through some my experiences and what I have learned through this period. Now, the main differences that I came along, that while in college, why I am not categorizing myself as a developer or tester, you will come to know that when we are in college, we have to know certain languages, certain programming languages, and we learn them. We learn C, we learn Java, maybe .NET, maybe not. And who among us who have a passion for coding, who like coding, not actually passion for coding, who like coding, and they tend to go to certain things. Some like to code in .NET, some go to application. I like to code, I like to make some application, and most of the applications we like to make in college, they are mostly pranks or something like that. Some go to website designing, web development, and something like this, right? While in college. Now, just take an example. Suppose we are in college and we are making something. When we make something, we test it, right? I am making a website. I make it. When I know what I have done, I know the HTML, I know the JavaScript I have put in, I know the jQuery, I know what I have called and what I have not. But when after I have coded it, when I am trying to run it, it's not running properly. So then I go back to the code and trying to find out what's happening. So what is this? This is nothing but testing, right? So in college life, and of course the designing part, it's the integrated part. No one likes to look at a website which is ugly. So it's inherent to us that okay, the website should look good. This is all part of when we are in college, when we are dealing with college life. We don't know, but we are a designer, developer, and tester all in one in college life. Okay. Now, just when we join a corporate life, it's suddenly categorized. It's suddenly differentiated. How it is differentiated, and we think, oh no, I am more inclined to coding. I don't want to go into testing. I'm more inclined to designing. I know Photoshop and these things. Why am I being pushed into coding into Visual Basic and .NET? I don't know anything about that. But that's actually not always the case. Because when we are pushed into different categories, it's expected of us that some things that we already know will come into play. Like what? Let's take an example. When I joined Cognizant, and when I was given a category like this, I was put into OSP, and after that I was put into OSP testing. So then also the same batch of us who had 30 people almost in them, they had a similar reaction that testing, why testing like this? But these things, the thing we had almost 5 months back, this scenario, this mentality, this all have changed. Why? Let's delve into some coding part first. First, most of us want to be, okay, I want to be a developer, I want to be a coder. So what kind of coding? Mainly the coding part, it's a very vast arena. They have different types of coding. We can, different projects can come. It can maybe .NET, it's maybe web projects. Mainly before I joined Cognizant, I used to do some amateur working, and I used to develop websites. So I am mainly here talking about the web logic, right? So about the projects, you have to sometimes code. You have to write an HTML code and everything code in it. When we are testing that, when a tester tests that, what does it test? There are various aspects of testing a site, specific to the site. Like there can be service testing, there can be penetration testing, that is part of the security testing. We can test for the performance of the site. We can test how the site is looking. We can test the UI of the site, that is portion of the testing. And the people who think that testing doesn't have to deal anything with coding. Let us say I am writing a code that is automatically fetching all the data in a website and categorizing it in a database, I have told it to, like any MySQL, like a MySQL. Now I have to write a tool. My client has specified that I have to write a tool that will take all the links in the website, test it if they are working or not, and they put it in the database, categorizing in it. This is not part of a developer, this is part of a tester. So what he has to do? He has to code in what? Maybe in VBScript, maybe in .NET, he doesn't know. It may be the client requirement. So he has to know everything. Similarly for a developer, when you think that I am a developer, I am developing for corporate world obviously, I am developing something, then you think, okay, I am just developing, the tester will test it. No, there is something called unit testing. When you develop something, just before you give it to the testers, you have to test it, just if it's working or not. Because if it doesn't work properly, the tester team won't even take it, right? So you have to know all the things. Now, this is a common scenario that we see that that I have also felt that when people get into testing, they think that this is not fun, this is not part of coding, and just as I was saying, that tool portion, without even the tool portion, like I am automating a testing. Like I have a requirement, and the client has a requirement specifically that the website goes maintenance after every 3 weeks. Okay, so some enhancement project is going on, and some things will be added to the site. But just for example, the NASSCOM site. The NASSCOM site is working under renovation. It has already lots of pages. I exactly forgot the number. I just have the 10,000 of the Chinese in mind. So it has lots of pages. Okay. Now, when the renovation work is going on, they don't want the remaining pages to be obsolete or they're not to be working. When the renovation work is going on, the developing team is renovating, they are enhancing the website. Now, it may so happen that the previous links, the previous pages that were once working, now not working in the enhanced site. Because it's not always possible to check after every release. Because forgetting a point, because I know he uses it, there are things like GitHubs and SBL service repositories where we put after every release. So after every release, it is not possible for us to track what we have changed. Developer can't always track it. Yeah, they have to if there is a problem, but it's not always possible to track it what I have changed. So the client wants something that he can run to test the remaining the older links if all the pages do work or not. This is called as regression testing. So when in regression testing, the client tells us, give me a tool, just make me a tool that will test all these things by himself. I won't do anything. I will just hire a guy who will run the tool. You just make me something that will work. Okay, this is part of automation testing. Now there are various automation testing frameworks and tools to use it. Some common tools are HP, QTP, and one that even Google uses is Selenium. Now maybe they are shifting to Twist, that's Java based. So why am I testing about this? Why am I telling about this? Because in QTP, when we are automating the whole procedure, we have to code in a specific language, that is VBScript. QTP uses VBScript to code. So when we are automating the whole process, we are using VBScript to code. So a tester has to know VBScript for automating the scripts, right? Now the client wants it to be more versatile, because in web there are some specific scenarios where it may be beneficial for the client or maybe us, because QTP is a commercial software and it uses quite a lot of resources. So he wants, no, I want it in Selenium. So Selenium, Twist, all this uses Java as their coding language. So when I'm writing a code in Java for the same regression pack, so the tester has to know Java too. Similarly, like in college, we all think, yeah, I want to be Ankit Fadya, I want to be a hacker, right? So in that concept, you all know about the CBI side hack, I suppose. Just previous to that, there were almost 10 to 20,000 hacks going on, mainly on the .in and .pk domain. Okay, most of the hacks were defacements mainly, but apart from that, some were DOS, DDoS. What is DDoS? DDoS is distributed denial of service. What happens is that when every server has a specific load, it can take a specific number of requests per second. When a server reaches its peak load period, like it is receiving almost 1 crore hit per second. It goes down. How many of you are from WBUT? Can I ask? Yeah, those from WBUT. Do you remember the night when the result first comes out? Just when your friend phones, yeah, the result is out. You go to the WBUT site and it's not opening. It's kind of DOS. Every people is trying to access the WBUT site and it's not handling the capacity. In DOS, the same thing happens. It's by the hackers. They use a very big network to hit a specific domain to make it deny the service. It doesn't work in that way. So there is the same concept. It's called load testing or performance testing. In testing, when a client wants to know how his site is achieving, how the performance of the site is when it's under heavy load, heavy pressure. Like take example for Facebook or Twitter. It has a very high user base. Many people are hitting it at once. How they are accommodating it? They're load balancing it. They're doing round robin load balancing and many other things. But how they know that I have to do all this? How they measure the performance of the site? This comes through performance testing. We have tools like that, load runner and things that makes that the DOS or DDoS told you about. It makes the same thing with a very controlled structure. We use virtual generators, virtual users to do that. Even that you have to code, right? So this is all my motto for telling this is that whenever you are put to a category, you just don't give up hope. Yeah, you're a developer, right? You have to code, but even then you have to know all the other aspects of things. Because when a developer, the main thing, and after me, Stanley is gonna come, and I think you will all, after his talk, you will all know what the problems the designer faces. The main problem for the designers are developers, because they don't know what they want. The main problem for designers are developers, because they don't exactly know what they want. We want something for the designers and then we revert back, oh no, this is not working for me. Can you please readjust it like this so that I can work with it? So whenever you are in any category, just know about all these, because it's going to come to you in your help every day. Okay? So now Sagnik will come and take the power.